Hello, everyone. This is Larry Lewis here again on the Mentors Lounge. It's with great pleasure that I'm bringing to us someone so special, a mentee, a phenomenal woman, dynamic in everything. I mean, I have studied her for a while now, and I was like, oh, I need to bring Mary on board here. Mary needs to share her story because you're going to learn a lot from her.
Thank
And
you
so
so
with
much.
great pleasure on this October series dedicated to women, to the girl child, to ladies, I bring to you Mary Ogundimu.
Yay,
Wow.
girl.
Awesome. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Larry, this is your hype, eh? Thank you so much, sir. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mary. Now, Mary has a profile. She's phenomenal. There is no doubt about it, and that is not a hype. Mary is phenomenal. She's done great things, and for everyone that is going to be watching this, I want us to meet Mary. Mary, who is Mary?
Okay, so just tell me what you want me to talk about, like which aspect of Mary do you want to know? Because
Tell us everything about Mary.
There are so many sides of Mary, so
yes,
I like to just give people what exactly they want to know.
It is your table today. The table is in you. You can play it wherever you want.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
All right. So I'll just keep it short and simple. I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach. I specialize in using storytelling and deep content to reconstruct and correct everyday narratives and life experiences. I like telling my story. I am self-motivated. I'm passionate about women development and enhancement. I'm passionate about growth. I love it when people are growing, when people are advancing. Generally, I think I consider myself as someone who has this quest for knowledge, who is also passionate about learning. I learn a lot. Every opportunity I see to learn, I'm grabbing it immediately because I know that somehow the knowledge will be useful some other time, if not immediately. What other thing? I'm a creative. I think of things in my head and I want to see it, maybe on my system or on paper. I just like to while away time with, creating designs and all of that. So I think that's just the basic thing about Mary. Then maybe social works and involvement with women organization and all of that. So I am the president of the Young African Women Conference, Nigerian Chapter. We have our head office in Ghana and we have different chapters in different countries. I run the MultiWoman Network also, an organization that is centered also on women development. I told you earlier, I love anything women development. So what else? I think that's basically all. Yeah. I used to be in the banking industry. I left bank and I'm all doing other things now. So that's just it.
Good. Awesome. Now, there are so many things that we can pick from that. When somebody looks at you, the person wonder, this person is young and she's done all this. How was she able to do all this? One of the aims of the Mentors Lounge is that we want to democratize success. We want it to be normal to be successful. And there's this saying that says that if you're going to a particular destination and someone has been there before, that person can tell you that you can take this path, you can avoid this bend.
Right.
There is a mine here, try and watch out for this, and you will get to that place. Right. So when you see someone who is young and has been able to master the art of making impact, you're not local, you're global in your view now. You've handled stuff in globally. Where did it all start from? How did it start?
Oh.
How did it start? Because you're young and you've done so much.
So when I hear people say you're young and you've done it, I feel like I don't know if it's right, because I remember back then when I used to be a radio presenter and I had someone who was younger at the time being in the studio. I won't forget his name. His name is Chris Kokewe. And
Okay.
Chris Kokewe at the time, I think he was 22 years old at the time, if I remember well. It's been a while now. And at that time, this guy had built himself or had developed himself to the point that Bill Gates had a conversation with him, wanting to employ him, and the guy turned it down. I mean, it was in the news for it was something that was, everywhere at that time. Chris Kokewe is one young Nigerian who I know, his story is so inspiring. So when I had him, he's in the tech space. Now, when I had him in the studio that time, and I was asking him, because I also saw him, like, we were in the same age group,
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are you able to do this? I mean, we were born the same year.
Yeah.
And so when I saw him, I was doing radio, I was interviewing people on radio. And when he was sharing his story, I'm like, what?
Wow.
This one is no. And in fact, he won a particular award at that time. He won the Ansitisha prize, and the amount of money he won that time was like,
mind-blowing.
A 22-year-old cannot do this,
Yeah.
And so, just as innocent as I was asking that, how are you this young and you are able to have achieved this thing? I was also surprised. And there was one thing he said that day that I have taken on with me, like I can never forget. So he said, Mary, why do you think I am young? It is in Africa here, we see people doing stuff at this age, you say they are young.
Awesome.
My competition is not the next 25-year-old person or the next 20-year-old person. I'm not competing with you guys. My competitors are outside there. 16 years are doing awesome stuff. These guys are building software. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is different. Okay, so I understand it better now. So when people say, oh, how are you able to? I'm like, you don't even get it. I'm not even young, because your
competition has gone.
No, I'm not. What's my business? It's only in Africa here you hear, until when the child is tall and at this certain age, the child can go to school and do this. Outside world don't do that.
Yeah.
These guys are training their kids from a very young age. I mean, even those in high school, they are doing stuff, they are creating things. And when you see them at a at that teenage age, let me not use young, at that teenage age, they're doing stuff. It's only in these days we'll see a 20-year-old guy who is doing amazingly, and we are going to feel like, wow, 20-year-old, because the impression, the picture
mindset
of success, the mindset they've given us is that, see, until when you are 40, you are not meant to break some certain ground. Until when you are 30, you're not meant to do something. So when we see people relatively young doing those things, we are shocked. But, how can this person be doing this? But the truth of the matter is that we are not too young to do these things. We are not too young to achieve. We are not too young to do whatever we want to do. And I come from this school of thought that whenever you have the ability to do those things, please just get on and do it. For God's sake, if I don't do these things when I'm in my 20s, when do I want to do it? In my 30s, I have other dreams, I have other goals, I have other things I want to do. There are bigger things to do. In my 40s, there are bigger things. So this is the time I can do it. So the conversation around where did it start from me, I think it started when I was done with my diploma. And for me, it was just about exploring my talents, my gifts, my creativity, and all. That was it for me. I was just about exploring my teenage years. I think that was it for me, because I think I finished my diploma, my national diploma at 19. And when I was done at 19, you know, I'm like, oh, wow, you know, I came out and we wanted to do internship. And one of my friends said, if we intern in a media house, they are not going to pay us. So in my mind, I'm like, I cannot do 1 year without being paid. You know, that kind of mentality. And and because I had done my student industrial training in a newspaper organization, and all the while I was there, they didn't pay us. So we were just like,
you didn't want to return.
Finish. I didn't, you know. So it was that impression or that notion that actually made me go and apply to work in a bank. And I got it. So I finished with a good grade. So I got the banking job and I was a teller at the time. So I was just that 19-year-old girl who was working in Axis Bank, who was, you know, it was just fun for me. And then I got on to 2021 and I'm like, oh, wow, this place is not bad anyways. You know, after my 1 year internship, some of us were retained. And for God's sake, at the time, I was just a 19-year-old girl earning 40K. It was cool for me.
Cool, yeah.
It was okay. And, you know, along the line, this same lady told me, you know what, Mary, you know what, we can start studying and, you know, working and all that, because again, my parents are not the Dangotes, they're not $10. So I literally had to sponsor myself even in my education, you know, and I felt like this money I was collecting at the time, man, it's cool money. I didn't have any responsibility. I didn't have any other thing I was using money for. So I can gather this money and pay my school fees. Okay. So I stayed back in the bank. So I worked in the bank for 6 years, okay? Wow. But while I was in the bank, because again, I want to explore my young years.
Yeah.
So I had spoken with a friend who was running a radio show at the time on Unilag FM. And I'm like, you know what? I really love media. I want to be in media because I studied mass communication and I love the media. I'm like, can I be coming maybe once in a week to just come and see what you're doing? And he said, oh, okay, I'll speak to the producer. So he spoke with the producer and then the man said, oh, I could come. So there's a particular show back then on Unilag FM that they opened for students. So you could come and intern. I'm like, oh, wow, nice. So I was always going to the studio on Saturdays and Sundays because on Saturdays you have to do your voice clinic, training, and all that. And then on Sunday you go and present. It was exciting. So for me, it was just my bit of, I was just enjoying myself.
Exploring.
Really. I was just enjoying myself. So I was going to the radio. So I would do on stage from I think 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. From there, another producer had noticed me and he was like, oh, are you on this show? I said, oh, yes, sir. So, oh, you really speak well. Would you like to join me on my show? And my madam, like, what am I doing? What am I here for? So I joined him on his show. So I would present on stage 1 o'clock to 2 p.m. Then I wait from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Now, this my friend who also has a show, but his own show is by 5 p.m. Okay, but everything was on Sundays. So later on, I'm like, I really like your own show. Can I be waiting? He said, maybe it's you that want to wait. And that was how I did. So on Sundays, I will be in the studio from morning to night. After service, I just go to the studio. I stayed there, you know, check what's happening in the studio. And then from there, I began to grow myself in media. I began to meet people. We would go for events, you know, they would give us the press tag. I did that. It was so interesting. It was such an interesting field for me. So along the line, I began to build more competence. So I got to a point I was producing myself. If my boss wasn't coming to the studio, I could operate the console and all that. Oh, wow. This thing is really interesting. It's really interesting. So I think that was just it for me. I was just on my journey to exploring my young years, just catching fun as I go on. And you know, that show, so on that show we do a conference or a summit every year. And this summit brings, because that show, actually the Ambassadors Radio Show at the time, invites entrepreneurs and we interview them, we let them share their story to inspire people. So when we bring people to the studio and I listen to their stories, this one will come and say, I was a conductor, I did this and this and that. I'm saying, You know, another one will come and say, oh, my parents were dead. And these are real life stories. So
Yeah.
I'm with them in the studio. And you know, every Sunday I'm constantly hearing
all this.
The background put you on the ground. You know, you can aim for more, you can do better. I'm like, so this thing is actually possible. Okay. And then before you knew it, I began to have bigger dreams because I saw people who have done it. I hear and you know, before you knew it, they became my friends. So I was using that to grow my network. I was using it to build myself. I was hearing that story and I was getting inspiration by myself. So every year when we do the Ambassador Summit, I was in charge of guest relations. So I was always the one, you know, relating with the guests we want to bring in, confirming them, calling their PAs and all of that. So along the line, that built my interpersonal relationship skills. And oh my God, it was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing. So I was just volunteering and I did that for 4 years. So for 4 years, I was just, you know, nobody was paying me anything and I didn't bother because I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to develop myself. I just wanted to develop myself. And the truth is, I was on a session yesterday and I was sharing with them that one of the things I'm grateful to God for was the fact that through those things I did back then, I was able to build a really credible and strong network of people.
Yeah.
Because the people I knew at that time, a lot of them today they are part of my success stories. That's true. A lot of them, because these people will share opportunities with you. They are going to show you how. Some of them will even say, "Oh, I'm opening a mentorship, session. Would you like to join? Would you like to volunteer for me?" And I'm like, "What? I'm interested." That's why I came here. You know, so that was how the journey started for me. And then before you know it, we kept on moving from one level to the other, and then here we are today.
Wow. Awesome. This is explosive. Straight from the horse's mouth. Man. I mean, Mary, this trajectory of your story, it shows that sometimes God will just make you to start something on the journey to the bigger picture.
That's it. You're right.
And it's like somebody who wants to cook maybe a delicacy. Put meat, put fish, put shrimps, put the spices, start adding them as different points of the cooking. So in this journey, I've seen someone who transitioned from being just someone who was observing them in the studio to anchoring programs yourself, to producing, to meeting with business people, building a network, learning how to volunteer, learning the back secret from people who have done it before. All those are ingredients that were added at different points, and they have now made up who you are today. And so you're able to pick this here, and they have all added and made. It's still you're still on the journey.
Yes.
And you see, I'm so happy with this journey because there are several, you know, October being very special for us on the Mentors Lounge, for women, for ladies, and for the girl child, especially those ones who don't have any hope of attaining onto something. I mean, when they hear stories like this, they know that you don't take opportunities for granted.
That's it. Very
Whether
important.
it is paid or not, don't take opportunities for granted. The breakthrough that people are looking for is usually wrapped in a challenge.
That's it.
Somebody said, "Come and would you like to do this?" Volunteer, no paying. But it's actually, you have actually paid with the human resource that you have. And at the end of the day, it has returned onto you great network that can say that
Even beyond
Okay.
my
Yeah.
expectation, right?
Okay, I know, Mary. I will recommend that to this. It helps builds over something. Now, what I want you to zoom into now is about, apart from this network, do you have a support system at home from the family? I remember when I my very last interview was with Ifeoluwa Dari Johnson, the founder of Health Tracker, and she shared with me that her father was actually instrumental to what she is today, always driving her to study one book or the other. And that's helped her to start reading and studying. I mean, giving some simple life lessons that whenever you enter a place, you should be able to identify 2 or 3 people by the time you are leaving. Or if you enter a room, what can you quickly identify if you enter? You know, those kind of like simple life skills that people need to get used to. What kind of support did you have?
Okay, all right, thank you. So when talking about support system, I cannot categorically say yes or no.
Okay.
Reason is because my parents are fantastic people. Like, they are just so amazing in their own space.
Yeah.
Right? My dad is very cool, very quiet, very calm. If you tell him you don't want to go to school, that's your. If you say you want to go to school, that's your business. You know, my dad is calm. My mom is the one that would say, you don't want to go to school. Are you okay? Who gave you to you? You know, that kind of. My mom is the, you know, that's disciplinarian. My dad is just really cool. Whatever decision you make is okay by my dad, right? And so when we talk about support system, the truth is, after my ND, that's one I did in Mapoli.
Yeah.
That was the last time I had to ask my parents for financial support, especially with education. Now, the reason is this. I have 4 siblings, okay? We're 5 of us as siblings, 2 elder brothers, 2 younger brothers. I'm the only girl, all right? And, you know...
So you're in the middle?
Yes, I'm in the middle.
Wow.
Amazingly, beautifully structured, you know? And so right from when I was even finishing my OND, my parents already sold to me the independent mentality. Like, you know what? We have tried. At that time, my younger brother was finishing from secondary school and he was going to get onto university, was going to continue with his education. My education clashed with my elder brothers. Okay, just follow this story. The first admission I got was into Ado-Ekiti.
Yeah.
My dad said, oh, no, you cannot go to Ado-Ekiti. You are a lady. Ado-Ekiti is too far. But I knew that was not the story. The real story, because I had to ask my mom later, like, why did I have to wait? The real story was that my admission had clashed with my elder brother's admission, and my parents could not afford to sponsor 2 children in higher institution at the same time. So I had to wait. That's the real story. Okay. So I had to wait for 1 year, go look for a job, began teaching job. I think they were paying me 3,000 or 5,000. I can't even remember. And so I already had that mentality that, see, babe, if you just cross this one, this is where these people are going to help you.
Full stop.
You better know how you will help yourself. It is now you are God and whoever God is putting in your life as a support. Okay. So, and I love the fact that my parents allow me to be whatever you want to be. Okay. My parents would not come and say, they're not the type that would choose a career for a child. No, they won't do that. But you know, I already saw those ahead of me. My brothers practically had to also sponsor their higher institution. I had seen it. So my brain was working. I knew that when you get to this point, because I have to focus on the rest.
Yeah.
And then I still have 2 behind me. I cannot kill them. They cannot afford it, and I don't blame them for that. So I had to tie my belt where it is strong.
Honestly.
And you know, a lot of time, I feel like what affects some of us is just this entitlement mentality, where you just expect that, you know what, My parents are here, they should do everything for me. Something
I
shocking.
love this story, honestly. It
Something shocking
resonates with a lot of
happened.
people.
It's a problem. Something shocking happened to me recently. It was later, sometimes this year. And when I discovered, I was literally in tears because I felt like I don't deserve this, you know. I had applied to, I think this is the second time I'll be sharing this story because I shared it, I think, on a session I was on Monday.
Right.
And because again, I just need to tell people this part because you don't see, nobody owes you anything. That's the truth. No matter how you want to say it. I have also said those things before. In fact, I've literally had to say some things to my parents that I had to go and apologize later. Because the truth of the matter is that orphans are living this life and they are doing well. They are coming out strong. So what's your own problem?
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
I've literally had to say some things to my parents, maybe out of anger, you know, and all of that. But I later had to go and apologize. You know, I'm sorry about what I said. I didn't mean it. So I needed my WIC certificate for a particular application I was doing at a particular time. And when I called, in fact, I asked my mom, have I collected my certificate? She was like, oh, no. And I finished secondary school for maybe 11 years now or 10 years. You know, but I've never had a need for it. You know, I think I had always, for all the things I've had to do, I could just submit my statement of results from my school. So they just,
it was fine.
And it was okay. So for this particular application, I don't know, they just said you need the original WIC certificate. I just told my mom, have I collected it? She was like, no, it's still in your secondary school. I said, what? How? What has happened? You know, that day I went to my school WhatsApp, you know, I quickly got the number of my proprietor and all that. I began to make calls. And then my proprietor said I should come. When I got to school, and, you know, I saw my principal. Ogundimu, how are you? It's been long. I have not seen you in years. I said, I'm fine. No. Then he goes, we see you on social media. We are proud of you. We'll see what I said. Thank you. I came to get my certificate. And then he said, your certificate, don't worry. We have the certificate. But I think you still have some outstanding.
What? 11 years. Lord have mercy.
You know, I said,
is this one dream?
Oh God. When it happened, Mr. Larry, I cried. I cried. I was in that office that day. I was in tears.
Wow.
You don't understand. I said, sir, what do you mean by outstanding? I don't understand. Like, how can I go back to my secondary school and I hear outstanding? What is outstanding? When I was in secondary school, I was just a 15-year-old girl of 14 or 16.
Wow.
I said, please explain to me what you mean by outstanding. And then he said, oh, there's some money your parents did not pay. I said, sir, since how many years ago? And do you know the funny thing? He said, no, we still have the records. We know that you people will still come back because you will need your certificate. So we don't even bother you. No matter how long you go, you will come back and you will pay the money. Hey!
Wow.
I said, okay, no problem. Bring out the records. Let us
How
check.
much, yo?
How much? So that I know where to start from.
Wow.
And you know why I wouldn't argue? I wouldn't argue because
the records were there.
I was the first child who actually attended a private school. I'm from a very humble background.
Yeah.
I was the first child who attended a private school. My elder brothers attended a public school. And I remember how they used to chase me out for not paying school fees. And so whenever they chase me out to say, Mary, go and bring up, because my school is actually far to my house. So I'll call my mom to say, mommy, they've sent me out for school. My mom say, hold on, just be 1 minute. Whatever my mommy would do or say, I don't know.
You don't know.
She would just call me back and say, Mary, go back to school. Tell so person, I've spoken with so person, and they will allow me in. Do you get? So my mom apparently has a relationship with the proprietor. So she would just say, okay, we'll pay so amount at so time and all that. Apparently, there were some accumulations. Do you get? I know school business proprietors, they will not forget their money.
Yes, now.
Let me go back to my gist. So I went, and then when they brought out the record, I said, okay, so please, how much is the money? 110,000. 110,000 naira.
Lying for 11 years.
From 11 years ago.
Wow.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That is serious.
If I had known that I had that kind of money outstanding, how much is 110,000?
You will have found it and paid
Even
for
if it took me to be paying every month out of my salary.
Yeah.
I would have finished clearing that debt. In fact, it wouldn't take me up to 6 months to clear that debt.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And my proprietor said, you have to pay this money before you collect your certificate. Hey! The application what I wanted to use it for, it was going to close the Monday. So I couldn't even go and come back. It's not possible.
Okay. Unexpected.
I cried. I called my mom, and then I said, "Mommy, I'm in school now, and they said that so amount of money." My mom said, we are not aware. Oh, when did the money get to the? In my mind, I'm like, what's happening here? My mom said, okay, so what are we going to do now? No, I don't have any money. Oh, I said, see, it's okay. Don't worry. I said, Shebi is my school fees. Don't worry, I will pay the money. All the money left in my account. Yeah. Well, I used to pay school fees from how many years ago? Wow. So you want to ask about support system? Should we start from that?
I get. Now you see.
Maybe the only thing I enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to say something?
Now the thing is this: it is good that you are sharing this. You said something earlier. Orphans are leaving. Things are working for them.
That's true.
They are moving on. You see, the reason why this particular story that you are sharing is so important is because if you pick 10 Africans, it will resonate with at least 8 of them. Yeah. And so coming from you is, a big ray of hope for them. So say that, so this person actually went through something like this also, and it's this, and that is what we were about. Now, this thing that you have shared is so touching, and here you are.
I can laugh about it now because, but that time it was not funny.
I know.
I went back home and was so angry. I got back home. My mom was talking to me. I said, please just leave me alone. Because I was still processing how I get to pay the balance of my own school fees. I said, please.
Yes.
My mom was saying, well, she was even telling my daddy that Mario is not talking to anybody. I just slammed the door. I think I was like that for a few days. And later on, when I began to process it, I just said, Mary, it's not worth it, I beg. Should have sharp paid, that's all. Move on. What if it was more than that? Would they kill themselves for you?
Yeah.
What would they have done? They've done their best. They've tried. I think the only thing I enjoy that I would say is a support system is the enabling environment. The fact that my parents would not stop you from doing anything. In fact, I remember a time when I was still on radio. I had stayed late that Sunday because we were recording a radio jingle for our next summit. And then I lost track of time. My phone was off. And when I got to the house, I met my parents outside. They were so worried. I think I got them around maybe past 11 or thereabout. It was so late. And I got to my dad said, Mary, where are you coming from? Bah! That was a slap. Where are you coming from? Bah! I said, sir, I'm coming from the studio. I'm coming from the studio. Daddy, I'm coming from the studio. You can't call my boss. I'm coming from the studio.
Daddy must protect his daughter, the only daughter.
He was so scared. He was so scared, and I understood. But even if I apologized later to say, "Oh, your phone was off and all that, you should have called us.
Yeah.
Let us know how you were." So I understood it. But next Sunday, I still went to the studio.
Of course.
To the studio because nobody's going to stop him, not even a slap. So when we talk about support system, the only thing my parents gave me is that they gave me the free will to make my choice.
The enabling environment
I make
also.
my own decisions, and they would support me. Okay, my brothers are also like that. All I need to do for them is to inform them about anything I want to do. It's not like I'm informing them to seek their permission or their validation. Do you get? So that's my own. That's the kind of support I enjoy. All right. So my talking to them is because I just want to seek maybe what your advice is, what your opinion is. If they have the ability, I know they will. But the truth is, it is somebody that has who will give you.
Yeah.
Somebody that even you are the one giving the person. So how do you want the person to give you?
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that kind of support system, I got it. But when you talk about other aspects, it has to be something you are pushing by yourself for yourself. And even when the encouragement is not there, even when you're not even getting the desired support, once you know that this is the line you want to toe, this is for your dream, this is for your future, this is for your life, you better be ready to fight tooth and nail. How do they say? Be ready to fight, because you will really have to fight some battles. It won't come to you on a platter. It won't come to you on a platter. You have to fight some battles, and you have to leave some, because you can't fight every battle. So pick your battles, check the ones you want to fight, leave the ones you know you cannot fight, and just move on.
Awesome.
Simple.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mary, for that explosive rundown of all they've gone through. Now, the truth is this, for ladies, girls, teenagers, young ladies, one of the things that they how will I put it now? They struggle with is finding their voice. Finding their voice, being able to navigate the deep ocean that men are, especially if you are from a developing country. This you have been able to do. If you were to advise a young girl, a teenager in secondary school, what are the things that you would tell them in terms of things that they need to do now, as in embrace now? How can they position themselves for global opportunities? You mentioned something earlier. I like the word of the very popular John Obidi. He usually says something. He said that your fight is different.
Yeah. You will not be young forever.
Your fight is different, especially when you're from the third world.
Yeah.
Right? Or developing country, really your fight is different. Now, what are the things that you would tell a young girl, or even a young person watching this thing, that guy, lady, this is how you need to reset that brain, and these are the things that you need to look for? What will you say if you are to be speaking to them today?
So one of the things I did that helped me, that even revamped my mentality, was that I began to look for women who are doing amazing stuff. And I began to move very close to them.
Mm.
You know, I when I started the MultiWoman Network, the idea in my head was that I wanted to showcase women who are excelling in every area of their life. Because for
we
a
are still
long
going
time,
to, sorry for continuing, we are going to come back to that multi-woman because there is a way of doing that. So go ahead.
Because for a long time, the idea we've heard or what they've sold for us, the story they've painted to us is the fact that you cannot actually be everything you want to be as a woman. Say, for instance, if you want to be a career woman now, just automatically know it at the back of your mind that your family will suffer. You know, that's the mentality, that's the picture they painted to us. And I don't blame them, because our own mothers had to sacrifice some things for some things. I use my mother as a case study. My mom at age 40 had to go and learn fashion designing. And I mean it. So when she was learning fashion designing at age 40, she was learning from a friend who was a bit younger than her, right? At that time, I think I was already in school or so. I can't even remember what level I was at that time, but I was grown, right? I was not a child. Our last born at the time was maybe 3-year-old or 2-year-old, because we have one small boy, the fifth of us. And you know, I watch how my mom struggle with taking care of that little boy and meeting up with working as a fashion designer. Do you get?
Yes.
Now, my mom does fashion designing, she does catering, she makes hair, she owns a little provision store. So one of those days, you know, I was just asking her that, wait, how come you're able to do all these things? And the truth is, when it comes to parenting, I give it to my parents. Like, no, I give 100%. My brothers are doing fabulously well. All right. So when I was asking her that, why did you really have to go and learn fashion designing at age 40 or 40? Why? And then she said there's something she has already put down that she must learn in her life.
Okay.
And that fashion designing was part of it. And that she had promised herself that no matter what age she gets to, she will learn it. I say, oh, wow. Okay, now I see. I said, wow, nice. I picked that. Okay. I held that one. I held it in my hand.
Yeah.
So when I go out and then, you know, I'm at events, I hear women speak. I hear women talk, and I'm like, and I look at the families of these women. They are raising great children. They are doing fantastically well. I said, so where did we get this other mentality from?
Of one-way traffic.
It means that some people are not telling us the full story. That is it. It means that some people are just showing us the side they want us to see and believe. I say, oh, okay. So what I began to do was I now stopped listening to them, just listening to them. I go and look for their biographies. I just go and look for their biographies. So when I see a woman I admire and I see how she's doing, I go and look for her biography. If I've seen it, I will go and look for that book and buy it. And then I'll begin to read. That in itself has a way of shaping my mind and opening my eyes to the opportunities, and in fact, the endless opportunities that are open. In fact, being a woman is even a plus these days. Like, you are at a great advantage. We have left that part where it is now only about the male child. In fact, right now, it even looks like the male child is being sidelined, because everybody now is talking about female empowerment, women empowerment. You know why it is looking like that? Because again, for a long time, there's been silence about women empowerment. So now that everybody is now amplifying their voices, it now looks like, we are doing too much. But the truth of the matter is, no much is too much. No much is too much. Because for a long time, these are the people that have been sidelined and neglected. Now, back to my story. If I'm advising a young girl or a teenage girl or somebody who just one thing I did was to educate my mind and tell myself that I am not in any war with any gender. That is very important.
Wow.
I'm not here to be fighting who is equal, who is not equal. I don't have time for that. I don't even have power to fight. I believe that every one of us have our differences and we have our space to fill. As you have been given potentials as a man, I have also been given potentials. If you want to blame anybody, maybe you go and blame God for blessing me with so much potentials. So it is not my fault if I am exhibiting the potentials that God has given me to exhibit. You cannot blame me. You cannot blame me for that. It is not my fault. You cannot blame me for doing the assignment that God has committed into my hands. If that one is not my fault. Okay? So if I'm telling you, because I cannot be responsible for you not doing your job as a man, and then you now want to, because me, I'm doing my own, you now feel bad and say, oh, she's a woman, why should she be doing it? Hell, where are you coming from? You go and do the one God that sent you now. I'm doing the one God that sent me. So you should not feel bad. All of us are doing our own stuff the way God has empowered us and God has instructed us to do. The first thing I do is to educate my mind and tell myself. So I let myself know that I am not in any war with any gender. I have been blessed with potentials. I have limitless opportunities like you have your limitless opportunities. So let every one of us feel our calling in our spaces. Let every one of us run our races. We will meet in front. We will meet at the top. Different races for different gender. We all have our different assignments. So you will not put the blame on me for doing my assignment right. You will not. So if I am fulfilling mandate as a woman, what God has sent me to do or giving me the empowerment to do, it is no fault of mine. This is just me manifesting in my natural habitat, period. It is simple. In fact, simple, God. It is so simple. So I don't get it when people are saying, oh, we're fighting gender roles. There's no need for fights now.
Girls should stand out and know yours, that they are gifted.
You do yours, I do mine.
Good. Awesome.
So I have this mantra. And even when you read my profile, I used to say that I long for a time in history when there is nothing such as fights, that fight word for gender equality, because everyone will understand that both male and female have their potentials and they have their capacities to be everything and anything they want to be. I'm just looking forward to a time when there'll be nothing such as gender violence, because everyone will understand what it means to respect the other. And everyone will treat everyone as human, not necessarily because you are male or you are female. I'm just praying that there will be a time when everyone is free to become, and we look forward to each other's success. Because we understand that life in itself is a race and there is no competition, because everyone has their space and should be in charge of that space. I'm praying that one day we will come to a time where we can look at each other face to face and say, you are indeed my brother, you are my sister. And then the only thing that is binding us is love. It's simple as that. So what I will be telling my younger child or a younger girl is that there is no limitation to you because you are a woman. Go all out and be everything that God has created you to be. Every single thing. Everything. So explore. I mean, take chances, explore, dream as big as you want to dream. Because the truth is, as you have opportunities for guys, you have opportunities for girls. There is no gender tap to any opportunity.
That's true.
And not even when it is something that you are empowered to do. Not even when it's something you have been empowered to do, something that God has the capacity to do it. Why will I want to limit myself now? Why? When the Creator has already empowered me. And then I already have the commandment that I should go to the world and multiply and be fruitful and replenish the earth. You think I'm going to be fruitful by folding my hands and thinking, oh, this one is not meant for me, this one is meant for... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm running with a mandate though. I'm not going to do that. So let
Now,
all of us be running our races. It is no competition.
Tied to this thing that you're saying now is something that is a bit of concern for me, especially for the younger generation now, which is social media. TikTok, Snapchat. That's for the Gen Z, right? Gen Z generation.
Yeah.
And if you have parents who allow the children to explore and everything like that, there may be a kind of a tendency for them not to be guided, especially with the fact that you have all these things and it's just there. How will a child maintain focus and maximize all these tools? Because I see them as tools anyway, tools for you to achieve what you have been called to achieve. But it looks as if that if they are not careful, they will be carried away by the wind of social media and get lost in the wind. Whereas if they identify what they're supposed to do on time, they can channel it and use those tools to amplify. So what will you say, I mean, in this space? I mean, that is one space that is a really big issue. It's a big issue now.
So for this particular area, I'm really going to say that there's a lot of work to be done on the part of parents, on the part of guardians, and the part of mentors and role models. Why am I saying that? I remember having a conversation with my mom recently before I left the house. My kid brother is I think he's 18 or 19 years old now.
Right.
And I saw him with an iPhone. Okay, just listen to this. I saw him with an iPhone. Me, I didn't have money to buy iPhone until last year. When I had worked and saved up some money, you know. And then when I saw him with the phone, he said, I know he was using an Android that a family friend had given him.
Yeah.
So I called my mom and said, Mommy, do you know the kind of phone Ife is using? She said, she does not know. I don't blame the woman now. She really does not know. I said, okay, Ife is using an iPhone. Do you know how much they sell an iPhone? She said, she does not know. I said, okay, let me break it down for you. iPhone is my kind of phone. Okay. I have an iPhone and an Android phone. And I told her the amount I bought my iPhone, which was not even new. I told her the amount. And when she said, hey! I said, you don't know what's happening. I said, since you have been seeing that phone with him, have you bothered to ask him where he got that phone from? She said, yes. So she asked him, she said it was his friend that gave him. I said, which friend? Which friend does Ife have?
That can afford it.
That can give Ife an iPhone. And then I called him. I said, Uncle Ife, I know you are now a big boy. Please, come on, face panel. I saw this kind of phone with you. Where did you get it? And then he mentioned the name of his friend. I said, so that your friend, which kind of phone is he using? He said he's also using an iPhone. How come your friend is able to afford 2 iPhones? He said it was the friend's sister who was abroad who sent it to her. I said, So your friend's sister abroad sent your friend 2 phones. You are now using 1 iPhone. He said, Aunt Mary, even the phone is not good though. I want to go and repair it. I said, don't bother repairing it. Just bring the phone. Don't bother repairing it. I said, your JAMB result, what was it? He was stuttering. I said, hey, you see the problem? How will you concentrate? You cannot concentrate now. Do you know, it got to a point, my brother would have earpiece in his ears and he's asleep. He will be listening to music and he's asleep. I said, so I can relate. I can relate when you say these things.
Yes.
So here is what we did. You are not using iPhone in this house. Even the Android phone you want to use. Before I left the house, I told my mom, the Android phone with him, please collect it. If you need to communicate with him, I don't even want to hear the point that he will not know what is going on in the world. Please let him not know it. I'm not interested in him knowing it. When he gets to the age when he needs to know it, he will know it.
He will know it.
He will know it. Get him a phone that will not distract him. Because for children who are not disciplined enough,
yes, to
know when to do what, how to do what, before you know it, they're carried away.
Yeah.
And their children, we will not blame them because they are restless.
Yeah. So they're
always looking for something to engage them. I jokingly say this, and my friends find it funny. We don't have TV in my house. Even till today, my father will not buy a TV set, not because he cannot afford it. Not because he cannot afford it, but because growing up, we were young, we were children. So even when we grew up to the point of we having our stands and knowing what to do, it didn't even occur to anybody. Who has time to sit down in front of TV and be watching when there's work to do? You know, give him an alternative. For children, you have to be extra careful. In fact, raising a child in this generation takes extra grace and extra strength. Because you have to always be on your toes as a parent.
Yeah.
Spiritually and physically.
Yeah.
Physically, you are checking what they are doing with their phones. You are snooping on them. They are asleep. You pick their phone and you are checking. It is not you going out of your boundaries or as a parent. It is you interested in what your child is doing with that phone.
Yeah.
You will be shocked. You will be shocked to know what some children are doing with phones and on social media. The day I saw my kid brother on Facebook was the day I knew that it has finished. Who opened Facebook account for you? So I had, you know, and when they begin to shrug, Auntie Mary, time I got home, I think I left the house for a period, and then I came home. I came home. And I woke up one morning, I'm like, where is the fair in this house? This house is unusually quiet. My mom said, oh, he has gone to the gym. I said, gym? Which gym? Because I know that in our area, there's no gym.
No gym.
So which gym has he gone to? And then my mom said, oh, he's lifting weights. I said, weights? Which weights? Which weight is he lifting? Who does he want to box? That was the last time he went to any gym in the house. Because apparently where he goes to say it is a gym, it's just an uncompleted building that guys gather in the morning to carry lifts and weights. And then because you don't know the kind of people that are in that place,
yes,
you cannot just allow your child to go anywhere.
Can be easily influenced.
And then I said, this is the last time you will go to that gym. You are not going there anymore. And it is stamped. If I see your leg there, you are in soup. My younger brother is in the Navy. I will not even talk to you. I will just arrange boys. They will beat you blue black. By the time they are beating you, when they are done, your head will reset. Because this is not, I'm not taking chances. I'm not his parent, though. I'm just his sister. Yeah. But I understand because my parents they've grown. My mom sometimes she's even tired. The way my mom brought us up, you know, there was a day I had to call my mom that mommy come first. I know the same you that raised us is raising Ife like
this one.
You know, because Ife will do something. I'm using him as a case study now so that people can relate. Yes. He will do some things in the house and I'll be like, hey, my mom, hey, my mom. You know,
mommy has relaxed.
You know, mommy has relaxed, and I cannot blame her. The woman is preserving her bones.
And so, this is not the time to relax with social media.
This is not the time to relax. So every time when I call, I say, where is Ife? I want to speak with him. Ife, how are you? So we have some targets. Before I even left the house, I made sure I linked him up with my friends who are trained coaches. Help me get him busy. It is when he's less busy, that's when he'll be looking for things to do. Help me get him busy. Let him be in the midst of people that are serious. Because we still have teenagers that are serious.
Yes, yes.
Put him in clubs. Put him in educational societies and activities where he will see younger children who are doing well,
And
and
they
he
will
will be
challenge.
inspired. That's the
Yes.
kind of community I want him to be in. There are a lot of them. So sometimes they go for boot camps. I say, correct. That's it. That's what I want to see. Sometimes they go for training. I say, nice. That's what I want to see. Because I'm not going to take chances. So if you are a parent in this time and age, you need to begin to devise means of keeping your children busy in a positive way. You cannot leave them to themselves. You cannot. Leave them to themselves and say, oh, because he's a teenager, oh, because he's a young child. From that age, if you cannot control them, they grow up with what you totally do not have any control over. So at the end of the day, they turn out to something that you are now, even you are surprised, you are shocked that is this my child? You have actually forgotten that when that child was exhibiting some traits and character that you should have corrected, you felt, oh, he's still a child, let him be like that. I have a kid, I have another boy who is also close to us. Should I call him a cousin now? He's a very small boy. So the other time I heard him singing some music and I said, Sam, come here. Where did you hear this music from? And then he said, my dad. I said, oh, your daddy sings it. Okay, no problem. I know where the problem is. The next time I saw his father, I said, so this is the kind of music you are singing in the house. And then he said, how do I? And I said, because your son is singing it. Because that is the only music now your son knows. I said, that music should not be heard in that house again. Look at the lyrics of this song. When you're singing the lyrics of this song where a child is, the child grows up knowing those lyrics. Before you know it, they're imagining things in their head and then they want to try it out. This boy has a younger sister. You are not always with them 247.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you as an adult cannot live your life. Please enjoy your life.
One has to be mindful of the people around.
But be mindful, especially when you have kids around you. Be very mindful and be careful of the things you do, of the things you say, of sites that you visit. Your child is sleeping on your shoulders or resting on your chest, and then you are surfing sites. You are carrying a child. The child is looking at your phone. You are surfing sites, right? The same child will pick up your phone when you are not around, and we go there. That place you went to. You'll be surprised. My cousins now operate phones like it's their game. I'm in my mind, I'm like, what's happening here? I put phone down, you have unlocked it. Who taught you how to unlock? These kids are extra smart. So this is it. I was speaking with a set of secondary school students some time ago. And I tell them, there's something I always recount to my brother. And I let them know, any young person I see around me, I let them know that you will not be young forever. So in 10 years' time, you will look back at the decisions you made today. It's two things. It's either you are proud of those decisions or you regret. It's either you are proud of those decisions or you regret. And it is a very simple world. As I am like this, this is my life that I'm living. My brother knows. When I've talked, I'll just leave you and I'll tell him, you know what is your life? At the end of the day, it is your life. And it is how, if you think anything will happen and then you have a elder sister that will, my dear, I will soon start my family. You are on your own. You are on your own. Better know it now. So I resound that thing into his ears. He hears it very well. Oh God, don't think there's somebody somewhere that will be financing your frivolities and financing your irresponsible lifestyle. No way. It is not happening anywhere. Awesome. If you are responsible, fine. We will support you all the way. But if you think you want to come and be doing what? You want to be raising shoulders for who? It's not possible. So I'd advise parents to be extra careful. Yes, the spirit of spiritual exercises are not, it cannot even be overemphasized, definitely. But parents need to be really extra careful. Not parents alone, teachers, guardians, mentors, coaches, tutors, everyone is our joint responsibility. Awesome. And I know that more we continue to do it, we're going to raise better children.
Absolutely. Mary on steroids. Honestly, I so much enjoy this, and I just have a few more, maybe one or two questions for you, right? You have set up a network focused on women. You're also the president of the Young African Congress of Women, and this is the social enterprise space. You've authored a book, which was published, I think, this year, right? You published a book, Suffering and Smiling, this year, and you have been on Yali. I mean, the question I want to ask is, I know you've built a network of people that refer you to stuff. Did you go through trainings that prepared you for this? It's a different thing to say that you have network of people and yes, they tell you to do this or do that one. What did you submit yourself to some training? Those times that after maybe when you finish your ND program, when did the transition come that Mary became the founder of MultiWoman Network? How? How did Mary become somebody who is traveling around Africa, traveling around everywhere? These are opportunities. How?
Yeah.
Because the how is very, very important for people. How did it happen? How can somebody who is looking at you today say that, me too, I want to follow that track? The person did this, me too, I'm going to do it. Break it down, please, for us.
Yeah, so the place for anyone who wants to, do a lot, especially with capacity building, you want to inspire people, you want people to, you want your voice to be heard, you want to tell your story and all of that. The place of personal development cannot be overemphasized.
Yeah.
Because it is only what you have on the inside of you that you can give out. Trainings are a lot. As in, I did trainings like no man's business. Paid for trainings, free trainings, events, networking, social hangouts. Which one did I not do? Before I became the event and networking chairman for Yali Network, when I was there, I had gone through Yali training. So you would do the training. In fact, you would apply. You would apply. If you are selected, if you are lucky to be selected, fine. If you are not lucky to be selected, you will reapply again another year. You get? You will reapply again. A lot of applications I'll do and I'll be rejected though. A lot. No, rejection mails have a separate phone. You would just, after you have applied and answered essay questions or you have blown on the grammar, you will just come and hear, as much as you were qualified, we only needed 20 people. In fact, there's a particular application I did, Carrington Youth Fellowship application, that I never qualified for. They wanted just 20 young people. 20 young people, and when they push out applications, like especially this US consulate application, Barack Obama, and all these, international organizations, a lot of people apply. You're not the only one with the brain. A lot of people. So that application, out of that application, I think out of maybe 5,000 or 4,000 plus, they selected just 60 persons. I was part of the 60 that was selected. Now, when they select you, you will now go to the US consulate in Lagos, the office.
Yeah.
Then you will now go and sit in front of the people to interview you. It was at that place I did not pass. Because out of the 60 of us, they were just meant to select 20. And so they will select their best 20. I didn't make it to the best 20. I had some opportunities or applications like that I did and I didn't pass. And I didn't feel bad about it. I only knew that I need to go and work more on myself. So the place of personal development cannot be overemphasized. Today I see people, I was still sharing this yesterday, that just small idea that drops in your mind. Boom, immediately you want to go and start an NGO. Boom, immediately you are now a founder. Next time we see you, you are now a CEO. Auntie, be coming down. Be coming down.
There's room for growth.
You people, small time you say you want to go and share sanitary pad, you want to go and feed people from the store. Do you even know what it means to run an NGO? Do you know what it means to register an NGO? Do you know what it takes to be called a founder? I'm not saying don't follow your vision or don't pursue your purpose, whatever you want to call it. Have you been trained? When I started the MultiWoman Network, the idea was just because I had trained in radio station, I now wanted to focus on women sharing their story. I'm a storyteller. I connect more with stories, and I know that people connect more with stories.
Yeah.
So the first idea that dropped in my mind was the MultiWoman show.
All right.
And I identified women who were doing amazingly well, and I wanted them to just use their stories to inspire other people.
Others.
I got a camera guy, I got everything. We were going, in fact, I went to a particular lady's office to go and interview her. I will not forget, that time I was still working in the bank. So I sneaked out of the office because I had to work with the time that was okay for her. I cannot forget this experience in my life because her office was in CBS. I had to beg one of my friends who has a camera to say, please come and help me to record this. Till today, we didn't even put out the video because it was so messy. I was planning to meet up because my break time was going to expire. I was going back to the office.
Wow.
When I got back to the office, Mary, where have you been? I quickly crept back into the office and sat in my seat. That was the initial idea. It was just a MultiWoman show. But when I saw that I couldn't sustain a show because at that time I didn't have the right platform. Right? I knew that putting it only on just like a video and sending it out would not drive my message. I wanted the big platform because I've been exposed to the big platform.
Yes.
And I know how they work.
Yeah. And
I knew that at that time I could not afford it. So I channeled my message and I said, okay, you know what? I still want to make impact. I still want to, have that community of women. People we can learn from. And then that was what now gave birth to the MultiWoman Network. So the MultiWoman Network is now meant to be an umbrella for our other expressions. So we have the MultiWoman show, we have the MultiWoman magazine, we have the MultiWoman conference, which we have done, I think, about 3 editions now every year. So it began to have other different expressions. And I didn't just, in fact, all these things I'm saying now, I didn't just wake up and dream them. I had to go and learn. Any social entrepreneurship training I saw that time, I would register. I remember the training I took with Namala Chinarems in Oshodi. Every Sunday, we would go, it was for 6 weeks. It was paid for. I paid for it. So I had to go and learn. So they would bring in different social entrepreneurs from big companies, big organizations. Those people will come, they will share with us how it works with grants, how you can get funding, you can do collaboration, partnership, equity. They taught us a lot of things, a lot. And I don't even know if they still do those things now. But I had to learn those things because I knew that I don't just want to start an organization that will crumble in a few months. I didn't just want to just go and then start up something all because, it's a vision, it's an idea. You have to learn. You have to learn. Team building, structure, you have to learn those things. I'm still learning. You have to learn those things because those are the things that work. You cannot come. Some people, you don't even have an executive summary for your organization. You are calling yourself a founder. Is that how it works?
Honestly, man.
When I was sitting down to carve out the executive summary for MultiWoman Network, Jesus, I scattered. I went to see one of my friends who had been for some other trainings, who knows better than me. I sat with her in her house. We will do a definition. We will cancel it. We will write again. I don't know where these people got this impression from. Everybody is now a founder. Everybody is now a CEO. Every day now, December, they will come and meet us, come and support us. I'm tired though. You people should be coming down. You people should be coming down. Go and learn. You need to learn. If you go and volunteer. The fact that an idea drops in your mind does not mean you must go and start an organization. Go and look for an organization that is doing exactly what you are doing and go and volunteer. Go and learn. Some people have not even volunteered anything.
And they want to blow. They want to blow. Everybody.
I don't want to talk too much, so that they will not say this auntie bring violence. I didn't come for war.
You said so much. The last question I'm asking you now is this. There's something on my mind which it is the next phase of this initiative. You said something towards the end which ties to it, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
Okay.
When I started the Mentors Lounge, the vision is to make it easy for people to succeed, learning from others who are sharing the secrets that you don't hear. But the next thing that is now on my mind is, okay, you mentioned structure, you mentioned executive summary, you mentioned how they do funding, how they do this, how all these things are in the value chain of anybody who wants to do social enterprise. So whether you're doing social enterprise, or you have a corporate organization, or you have a business, there is a way. And you said you went for this social enterprise training. You don't know whether they are doing it again. If you have the opportunity to curate a curriculum to teach people what you have gone through, will you be open to that? The curriculum that will help people. No, I know I'm asking this question. It's a very strategic question.
Okay, I know, right?
Will you be open to that? Because, for example, you don't know whether that thing is available again, but that thing is one key factor that has helped you in building what you have now.
Yeah, right.
And there are many people who are at the stage you are when you are trying to get that training, and they're wondering where they can get the training from.
Yeah.
So seeing someone who has gone through the process and translated the training into something that is of value, right? That person has the right, the local standing to say that I have the right to teach you this because I learned this, I've applied it, and I know the pitfalls, I know what to do. So if you want to do this is a curriculum.
Yeah.
Will you be open to something like that?
Okay. So I would say no.
Okay.
Because if it is like right now, if it is like right now, at this phase of my life now, I don't have the capacity to add that to the things on my decks.
No,
but
not
I've
right
had
now.
People who approach me to say, "Oh, right."
Not right now. Can you hear me now?
Oh wow! Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, not right now.
Not
maybe
right now.
Maybe later. Yes, why not?
Good.
Yeah, why not? But for right now, what I do when people meet me to say, "Oh, Mary, I have passion for this and I want to learn." I have a few friends in the NGO space who have trainings, like specialized trainings for NGOs. They have a curriculum. I refer them to that. I refer them to Ideation Hub Africa. Ideation Hub Africa is another organization I know that can literally take you through from scratch.
DDK.
If you want, yes, DDK. If you can sit down, and there are a lot of courses, if you can sit down and take all of their courses from beginning to end, both the free ones and the paid ones, you are good to go. Because there are levels. If you take the free ones, some things that are in the paid session that you will never hear on the free sessions.
Yes.
In fact, the kind of people in the free sessions are not the people on the paid sessions. So there are levels to it, right? Yeah. So if you can, in fact, Ideation Hub is if you want to social enterprise, NGO, passion, go and carry their curriculum and let it enter your head. Awesome. But for me, maybe later, well, we never can tell. If I want to delve into that, it's fine. But right now, it's a lot of work on my plate already, on my decks.
Thank you so much, Mary. It's been an explosive session indeed. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to gain from this interview. So that's it for today on the Mentors Lounge, hosting Mary Ogundimu. And I want to thank her sincerely for honoring our invitation. And that is it for this interview today. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye for now.